Hello and welcome to GameGen. If you're a fan of building up defenses and taking on waves of enemies, you're in the right spot. Today we're checking out some of the coolest upcoming tower defense games that you definitely don't want to miss. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what's coming. Nordhold. Nordhold is shaping up to be an exciting tower defense game. The free prologue, Nordhold Origins, gives a nice sneak peek into the action, and I'm all in for what the game has to offer. In Nordhold, you'll build and upgrade your very own medieval Nordic village while fending off waves of enemies. You've got 5 types of towers to choose from, each with its own unique abilities, so you can mix and match to create the best defense. Plus, you'll need to manage your resources wisely to keep your village thriving while still beefing up your defenses. Visually, Nordhold is a fantastic medieval art style that draws you in, and the interface looks super user-friendly, making it easy to jump right into the action. The positive feedback from the prologue makes me even more excited for the full release. Shire. Shire is a fun tower defense game in early access that has major Toy Story vibes. The graphics are adorable, and the music really adds to that playful, nostalgic feel. The story, about a little boy playing with his toys, is cute and well done, making the game even more charming. In terms of gameplay, it's classic tower defense. You've got 3 levels, each with 4 stages so far, and you'll be placing towers to stop waves of enemies. What's cool is that you can also deploy toy soldiers to help out or even send them to attack the enemy base. There are 12 levels right now, plus a creative mode where you can make your own levels and share them with others. Shire has been getting great feedback from players, and it's priced around just $10, so it's really easy to get into. Vambrace Dungeon Monarch. Vambrace Dungeon Monarch is an exciting new game coming your way on October 23, 2024, blending deck building, tactical combat, auto-battling, and dungeon defense. You'll get to play as the Dungeon Monarch, the guardian tasked with keeping your mystical dungeons safe from all sorts of invaders. The cool part? You'll use a magical deck of cards that lets you cast spells and summon troops, each with their own special abilities. This means you'll need to think strategically about how to use your cards to take down different enemies. The battles are fast-paced, so you can unleash awesome spells like lightning bolts and fireballs using summoning units to fight for you. What's really fun is that you have to be smart about your positioning and resource management to fend off Archon hunters and other pesky deities. Hey, if you're enjoying the video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Alright, back to the video. Grit and Valor 1949. Grit and Valor 1949 is a real-time strategy game on grid-based maps, but with fast-paced action instead of turn-based strategy. You're leading a resistance force, trying to plant a giant EMP in the enemy base to disable their mechs. The gameplay mixes quick decision-making with some tactical depth, like taking advantage of cover and using rock-paper-scissors matchups to your favor. Even though it's grid-based, you can move your mechs around freely, and the tiles mostly just mark firing ranges. You'll be positioning your mechs, setting up defenses, and using special abilities like dropping mines or crushing enemies with a big mech jump. The game gives you a lot to do right away, but the early missions are forgiving enough to let you figure things out. It's got a fun, energetic feel, and if you're into mech battles with a faster pace, there's a demo on Steam you can dive into. Tower Factory. Tower Factory is a game that mixes tower defense, factory building, and some roguelite fun into an awesome package. Your main job is to set up a factory to gather resources while also defending it from waves of enemies trying to crash the party. It's all about managing your resources, like using wood choppers and stone miners on conveyor belts to keep things running smoothly, while figuring out the best spots to place your defense towers to fend off tougher and tougher foes. But it's not just about defense. You'll be exploring the map, clearing out foggy areas, and eventually taking down enemy fortresses. The roguelite aspect means each playthrough is different with randomly generated maps and enemies, so you'll never get bored. It's being developed by indie dev Kingmakers, and you can try a demo out right now. Kingmakers. Kingmakers looks like it's going to be an absolute blast. Literally. This game takes the medieval setting we all know, knights, castles, troops, etc., and throws in a modern twist that's just too good. Imagine a pickup truck rolling through a battlefield straight out of the Middle Ages, with a guy hopping out armed with a shotgun, sniper rifle, and even an attack helicopter. It's wild, over the top, and you can't help but think, why hasn't anyone thought of this before? The game isn't just about chaos though. There's also some solid strategy with base building and troop management. But let's be real, what really grabs attention is the sheer madness of mixing medieval battles with modern firepower. It feels like the game is saying, forget being subtle, let's make things as big and crazy as possible. And honestly, I'm all here for it. Hostile Mars. Hostile Mars is an upcoming game that mixes base building, defense, and third-person shooting, all set on the Red Planet. In the game, you'll be building and defending bases while managing resources to survive waves of enemies. There's also some hands-on action. It's not just about fighting though. You'll get to explore Mars, find new tech, and unlock powerful upgrades to help you survive. You'll also need to gather resources to build and upgrade your base, and mining is a big part of that. As development has progressed, the game's seeing updates like energy shields, automated resource stations, and new types of enemies to keep things interesting. Right now, the devs are getting ready for playtesting, with plans to release on both PC and consoles. Orcs Must Die, Deathtrap. Orcs Must Die, Deathtrap is giving off some serious nostalgia vibes while ramping up the fun factor for fans of the original game. The basic idea is still the same. Protect your rift from waves of orcs by setting up traps and getting in on the action yourself. But this time, you can team up with 3 friends instead of just 1, making for a wild, chaotic experience as orcs come at you from all sides. The game also spices things up with roguelite elements, allowing players to choose new perks after each wave, which keeps the gameplay fresh and encourages creative strategies. You can pick from a lineup of unique war mages, each with their own weapons and abilities, so there's plenty of room for exploration. Dawn of Defense. Dawn of Defense is a mix of tower defenses, real-time strategy, and roguelike. You are the last hope for your tribe against a nasty empire, and it's up to you to reclaim your lands and kick some enemy butt. You'll start by defending your spirit tower with all sorts of towers to keep those pesky invaders at bay. Each wave gets tougher, so you'll need to plan and upgrade your defenses wisely. But it's not just about standing there and letting the towers do all the work. You can train warriors to join the fight, capture islands to set up your defenses, and even launch counterattacks. There's a fun base building aspect where you can fortify your captured islands and build production facilities to keep your resources flowing. After each wave, you get to choose from random runestones that offer cool upgrades, keeping things fresh. Epic Auto Towers. Epic Auto Towers is a super enjoyable single-player turn-based strategy game that mixes a bunch of fun genres like auto battler, deck building, and roguelike gameplay. In this game, you get to buy and upgrade a variety of towers, each with its own unique abilities to take on waves of enemies. You'll place your towers on the battlefield, and they'll automatically do their thing while you focus on the bigger picture. The deck building elements means you can collect different tower cards and mix and match them based on how well they work together and the challenges ahead. The roguelike progression is a cool touch, letting you unlock new abilities and upgrades every time you play, which keeps things fresh and exciting. Plus, figuring out the best tower combos to create powerful synergies is a blast. Creeper World IXE. Creeper World IXE is a strategy game that blends tower defense and some incremental gameplay. You're up against a gooey enemy called the Creeper, which spreads out over the map, and it's up to you to build defenses to stop it. You'll set up all sorts of structures, like energy generators and towers, to hold back the Creeper. Energy is super important, since it powers everything. The game has a really charming 2D pixel art style, with smooth animations that make the Creeper's movements pretty entertaining. Plus, there are incremental elements, so you can unlock new tech and upgrades as you play, keeping things fresh and rewarding. Strategic thinking is a must, because the Creeper can also overwhelm your defenses if you're not careful. You'll need to find a balance between offense and defense, as the battlefield keeps changing. Border Pioneer. Border Pioneer is a city building and tower defense game where you play as a pioneer establishing a new settlement. You'll build structures, manage resources, and defend your settlement from threats like invaders and wild animals. The game revolves around growing your settlement by constructing buildings and balancing resources to keep things running smoothly. The balance between city building and resource management feels really satisfying, as every decision you make directly impacts the survival and growth of your settlement. There's a tower defense element as well, so you'll need to strategically place defenses to protect your territory. The game has a cool, stylized look, and the interface is super easy to use, so you can focus on the fun stuff. Emberward. Emberward is a fun mix of roguelite tower defenses and puzzle mechanics, pulling inspiration from games like Slay the Spire, Bloons Tower Defense, and even Tetris. It's in early access right now, and the main idea is to build tricky mazes using Tetris-style blocks while placing towers to stop waves of enemies. You start by laying out these Tetramino blocks to create a maze, making it harder for enemies to reach your base. The longer the path, the more time your towers have to shoot them down. You're dealt Tetramino pieces to place, and depending on how you use them, they can boost your towers or add extra benefits. It's all about thinking on your feet and getting creative with your defensive layout. Emberward is available on Steam in early access, so you can jump in now and experiment with its mechanics. Alright everyone, that wraps up our look at some upcoming games. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a comment below if any of these games caught your eye, or if there are any other upcoming releases you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing for more gaming content in the future. Thanks for watching.